All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today is Thursday, October 24th. This is going to be the last call for this week until Sunday. Let's get right into it. First of all, let's take a look at the trades that we took this week. Um, Starting with the first one, CAD JPY. CAD JPY, I closed out super early. Realistically, there's no reason for me to close out other than seeing this little double top forming on the 4 hour time frame. Price was basically about to close below this structure point, confirming the double top, and I closed, and then price basically continued to the upside as expected, honestly. Beautiful setup. Weekly time frame, daily time frame, 4 hour time frame. It's just everything you want to see in these types of trades. Next is AUD USD. Took a loss here yesterday. Weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bearish. We were underneath this little area of interest, and 4 hour time frame created a head and shoulders pattern. Now, initially, I thought that my stop loss would be a little bit too tight, but now you can see that it didn't really matter. Um, Either way, whether your stop loss was above this structure point or above this candle right here, um, price would have swept us out either way. And there's obviously the option of having your stop loss way up here, but I'm not a huge fan of that. We were basically up a 1 to 1.5, and then price went and swept us out. So currently on the week, we are down. Oh, no, we're up, I think, 1.2%. I can't remember. Yeah, 1.2%. And then we have this trade that is currently playing out. So, yeah, pretty good overall. Now let's take a look at the trade that we are in right now. The trade that we are in right now is EuroCAD. I went over it yesterday. Basically, we have a bullish weekly time frame. Daily time frame is also bullish, retesting previous structure, area of interest, and EMA. 4 hour time frame is starting to have a bullish reaction. What I was looking for initially is a break and retest of the 30-minute EMA. That's exactly what I had mentioned yesterday. Just waiting for this 30-minute EMA to get broken above, retested, and then to look for buys. I entered, I think, a little bit early. We didn't realistically retest the 30-minute EMA. And there's still a chance that we'll come back into this little lower time frame area of interest to retest that EMA, retest these previous structures, and then continue to the upside. My stop loss is a little bit tight. It's only 20 pips. And my first, excuse me, my first profit target is around a 1 to 2.5, which is around this EMA right before we get into this kind of an area of interest. I wouldn't even really call it that. It's just we have 1, 2, 3 structure points. It's not the best. Realistically, we could probably dial it in a little bit more on the 4 hour time frame and call it something like this. So yeah, we have this little area of interest right here. When price breaks above, retest buy. When we break below, retest sell, above, and then below. So just going to be targeting this for starters. Next will be this area of interest, and then obviously daily market structure for our final profit target. I think that would be a little bit much to ask for. I'll probably end up closing out around a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 if we get there, just to finish the week off strong. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the actual analysis. So starting with Bitcoin, been having a lot of news events popping up on my phone related to Bitcoin, where somebody says this about Bitcoin, somebody says that. Overall, we are bullish on most time frames. I do think we could potentially push in a little bit lower towards this area or towards this EMA. But other than that, there's really not much to discuss here. If we break above the EMA right here on the 4 hour time frame, we might see some short-term buys into this area of interest, which is a daily area of interest, I believe. So that is something to keep an eye on. But also notice that we are currently underneath the daily EMA, so that could act as a resistance for price as it has right there with this huge wick. But yeah, S&P 500, we had a selling day yesterday and today. Price opened and went directly upwards. Now, I don't really love the fact that we don't have a wick here on the daily time frame or on the 4 hour and daily time frame. I feel like price could potentially sell off from wherever we are. We have a doji, we have an engulfing candle. This could be a pullback candle in order to see continuation to the downside. Weekly time frame is bullish, daily time frame is currently bearish. And we've kind of returned back into this area of supply up here. And retesting this wick. So yeah, we could see some sellers coming into this market, but realistically, I think that we'll just break above and continue to buy. Once we close above the daily structure point, then I would be interested in taking buys on that. Here, it's looking very, very similar. We've created a double top on the daily time frame, and we could see some sellers coming into this market here. Same thing, pretty much a double top. We did break above the daily time frame here, create a higher high. But the 4 hour time frame has already shifted bearish. So we had a higher high, shift the structure, and now we are bearish on the 4 hour time frame. Same or not same with this. This is actually still bullish on the 4 hour time frame. So we have a few discrepancies between the three US, I wouldn't even call them pairs, indices. But yeah, I'm not too interested in trading those. Gold, on the other hand, is looking like it's done selling for a little bit. Obviously, there's still this huge, huge gap in price, but realistically, we're not going to fill that gap unless something super major happens in the world. Daily time frame is bullish. 4 hour time frame, excuse me, 4 hour time frame is bearish still until we close with this candle. If this candle closes in the 4 hour time frame, we'll go bullish on gold. One thing to note is that we are underneath this area right here, underneath the EMA, and also underneath this double top neckline. So we could see some resistance happening in this area right here when we do reach into this area. Not even going to really waste my time going over the dollar index. Pretty straightforward. We broke above the EMA, broke above the area of interest, retested, and now we're buying. CAD JPY, we just went over. AUD USD, we just went over as well. Now for this pair, actually, yeah, let's go over these real quickly. What can we expect for price to do now that we have had this push? Well, we're just looking for areas where price could potentially retest and have a continuation to the upside. Something along these lines where price could sell, and then reach the EMA and then have a proper push to the upside. As you can see, price has done that before where we sold aggressively, pulled back into this area, and then sold more. So we bought aggressively, pull back into this area, and then we buy more. So that is something to note. AUD USD, I still like this trade. Weekly time frame is bearish. I think the reason we're continuing to buy is because of this weekly EMA that is holding price up, as well as this reaction candle on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame is currently bearish. And 4 hour time frame is also still currently bearish. So until we break above this head and shoulders pattern, above this head of this head and shoulders pattern, then technically price can continue to the downside and continue to sell. Actually, let me check. It seems like we did actually break below. So yeah, 4 hour time frame is bullish. 4 hour time frame is bullish. We are above the 4 hour EMA. In order to take these sells, I'd probably want to see a deeper pullback, maybe into previous structure. As you can see, we have like a almost a double top. I wouldn't really call it a double top, but we have this previous structure right here where price has reversed from multiple times in the past. So maybe a pullback into that area of interest, EMA, previous structure, and then we can sell. If not, if we don't get that entire pullback, then let's see, daily, weekly, weekly's bearish, daily's bearish. So we don't need the 4-hour time frame to be bearish. I would like the 4-hour time frame to be bearish, but at the very minimum, I would like it to break back underneath this EMA and underneath the 30-minute EMA as well, retest and then sell. So I would enter in a similar place. My stop loss would be a similar size. But yeah, we just take this one to the chin and continue to move on. Euro CAD. Euro CAD is one that I recently entered literally 30 minutes. I don't know why my nose is so itchy. Literally 30 minutes before we did this call. I sent the signal out. We have retested this area of interest. 4-hour time frame is now pushing. I believe we should create either a head and shoulders, or we might just continue to push all straight to take profit. That's kind of why I entered without waiting for the full retest, because I expected price to maybe have enough momentum. So we have all this consolidation, and now we might just kind of let go and let price do its thing. Obviously, we can hope for the best, but anything can happen. We might slowly pull back, and then just take off from here. GBP USD. GBP USD weekly time frames bearish, daily time frame is bearish. We had a pullback into this EMA very, very nicely. 4-hour time frame had a shift of structure, pullback into the neckline of the head and shoulders, underneath the EMA, underneath the 30-minute time frame, everything that you want to see from these types of trades. This is a small position that I took on my own time. And then price basically pulled back into the same area and is now continuing to sell. I wasn't super excited about taking a trade that pulled back so aggressively. But I guess for this pair, it is pretty natural to do that type of stuff. To have strong sells and strong pullback, strong sell, strong pullback, and continuation to the downside. Now, this kind of begs the question, is AUD USD and NZD USD going to follow? Are they going to be able to have that continuation as well? And I think that they should. They should be able to have the continuation. I think what's happening is this. We're seeing this type of a slow, painful pullback. We've broken above the EMA, and we're eventually going to sell underneath the 4-hour EMA on both of these pairs. AUD USD, same thing, slow, painful pullback. But once we get those sellers back in control, we should be set to sail, you know. So all I'm waiting for here, same thing as AUD USD, is a break and retest, or just a break of the 4-hour EMA and a break and retest underneath the 30-minute EMA. For me, that is essential for the trade. So same thing that I have marked up already. Next, Euro NZD. Yeah, you're gonna ask why was GU sell? Yeah, I think it's just because of first of all, yes, they're all USD pairs, but they don't have all, like, they're not exactly the same. But what is the same is the AUD and the NZD. New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar are basically like the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. Very interconnected currencies. Therefore, they're going to move very, very similarly. And that's why we're seeing a difference between this, whereas these two look the same. Like, they're still doing the same thing. I do think that eventually we're going to see the same type of continuation to the downside. It just makes sense. We're selling with the higher time frames, selling with the higher time frames, and selling with the higher time frames. We're just waiting for a little bit extra. Maybe we're waiting for some news. Maybe we're just waiting for the buyers to get exhausted and the sellers to take over. But when it happens, I will be there. I'll be there just like I was for this NZD USD sell, So still waiting for the same thing. Um, and we'll see when it happens. It could happen tomorrow, it could happen tonight. Okay. Here, weekly time frame is bullish, daily time frame is bullish. We're having a nice pullback. Euro NZD kind of looks like Euro CAD in some type of a way. We're still underneath this 4-hour EMA. So I think that's why we're struggling to buy a little bit. We also have some of these lower time frame areas of interest in between price. I still expect buyers. I just don't know exactly when these buyers are going to arrive or take over. I would expect them to do so as soon as price is able to break above and retest above the 1-hour EMA. As you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit, but eventually price manages to do so. And then we see some nice buyers coming into the market. So we're kind of stuck like right here, where price doesn't know if it wants to be above or if it wants to stay below. As soon as it decides, we'll be able to enter and take that trade to the upside. So I'm still going to be waiting on this. I think it's still a pretty great opportunity for today, maybe tomorrow. Well, today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, maybe early next week. Yeah, it is the end of the week, so we'll see. These trades are still all pretty great. GBP USD, I don't know if I want to trade this. Let's see, daily time frame. It still has room to sell, but we're selling at almost the lower low. Like we're selling on the way to the lower low rather than at the area of interest. So realistically, it would be best to see price pull back on a daily time frame like this and then have that next continuation. So this probably won't be ready for another couple of days. So I'm just going to take this off the list right away. And here's the thing. If it doesn't have this pullback, then it's just going to have a continuation. And if we're trying to catch the continuation, then we're going to be trading with a pretty large stop loss, and price has the opportunity to come back, create a double top, retest the EMA, and then sell, taking us out of the trade. So realistically, your stop loss would have to be above this elbow right here. And that's a 57-point stop loss. It doesn't make sense. Okay, where were we? AUD JPY. AUD JPY did exactly what I analyzed. Weekly time frame is bullish. We broke above, retested EMA, and are having the continuation. Daily time frame, same thing. We pushed up very aggressively, pulled back just as aggressively, retested the EMA, rejected the EMA, and now we're having a push up. We were having very, very nice market structure. We created a head and shoulders, broke above, retested the neckline, retested the EMA, and now we're having the push up. I'm sad that I wasn't able to catch this. I don't know what I was doing. 9. What is it? Why does it say? Oh, this is the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, so realistically, we were doing this call yesterday at almost the exact same time. So it was right here when I marked this up. And I basically put my stop loss right underneath this area of interest, right underneath this wick. And this could have been your trade. I mean, that's exactly what I said, is this could be your trade. I would wait for a little bit longer to enter, but there it is, a 1 to 3, a pretty solid, a continuation similar to CAD JPY. Obviously on CAD JPY, we're hoping to see a pullback. Therefore, on AUD JPY, we could probably expect to see something similar, maybe a pullback into. Also, I didn't take the trade, so I'm not gonna keep that there, but maybe a pullback into these previous structures for a continuation to the upside. I think that would be pretty fantastic to see and a great opportunity to take a continuation trade. Just previous structure, neckline of the head and shoulders. and just nice market structure overall. Is it tradable right now? I mean, I wouldn't enter up here. There's really no point. So we're just gonna put this one to the side. Same as GBP USD. Okay. We never took this trade. Next, AUD NZD. AUD NZD weekly time frame. Very bullish. Daily time frame is very bullish as well. Created a double top, and basically what I had said is I'm gonna be taking buys above, or I'm gonna be taking sells below. Break, retest, sell, the double top or the double bottom. For right now, price is kind of moving like sideways. It is underneath this 4-hour EMA, so that is hopeful. There might be a reaction from this 4-hour EMA. There is a 4-hour area of interest. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 structure points. We have a reaction candle. Realistically, if you're going to be taking this, I would wait for price to actually break underneath the 30-minute EMA and then sell. That might be a potential opportunity there. I'm not going to be trading this, so I'm just going to toss it down here. And we can come back to it next week, see how it moved. AUD CHF, weekly time frame, bearish. Daily time frame, bearish. We are at previous structure for a potential continuation to the downside. We just retested the 4-hour EMA. We're having a reaction candle. If we break back underneath, there's a good chance we might see sellers re-entering this market. Once again, I want to see price actually break the 30-minute EMA, retest it from the downside or from the bottom side, and something like this where we're above, we break underneath, retest, very, very nice sell, continuation. Now we're moving like sideways, but upwards on the top side of the EMA. Once we break back underneath, retest, then we can take sells with all of the major time frames. The 4-hour time frame is currently bullish from right here to here. We broke above this structure point. So maybe we could wait for a head and shoulders pattern to form right here. That could be a potential opportunity for taking those sells, but price is in the area we want it to be in, so we will continue to watch this pair. USD CHF, same exact thing. We're waiting for price to do its thing. We're waiting for price to break back underneath the EMA, retest it, similar to right here. We bought aggressively, we rejected aggressively, we pulled back, and then we sold. Going to be looking for the same thing. We're going to wait for the rejection. We're going to wait for the pullback, and then we're going to sell right around here. That could happen tonight. We could happen tonight, tomorrow, or very, very early next week. Realistically, probably tomorrow. GBP, JPY. Now, this is one of the JPY pairs that I can see trading, or I can see myself trading. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bullish. 4-hour time frame is bullish. We've created a nice head and shoulders. We have the neckline. We are retesting the neckline exactly as I broke down. We are even retesting the 30-minute EMA. I mean, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but whenever I do this, like, it usually ends up playing out. So this is the way that I would take the trade. If you want to be safer, you can go underneath this area of interest. That gives you a huge stop loss. I would just kind of try to do 30 points or something like that, 30 pips. You have a reaction candle, maybe underneath the 1-hour EMA like this, 40. And then you're aiming for your 4-hour structure, your daily structure, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit of both. So for daily, it would be a little bit lower. For 4-hour, it would be a little bit higher. So I would aim for the 4-hour structure because you're buying from a 4-hour area of interest. But yeah, this is the way that I would execute this trade right here. It's basically exactly the way I have it marked up like so. So we'll come back and we'll see how this, if this plays out. But yeah. Okay, so we've gone through the list of the trades that we were interested in, and we can see how some of them haven't really changed. Some of them have gotten better, like they've set up a little bit better. They've given more price action. They've created patterns and things of the sort. Next is GBP USD. We already went over. GBP CHF. Wow. GBP CHF selling as well as GBP USD. So it seems like the GBP is getting weaker. I don't know if that's how it works. Anyways, what we can see here is we have a very, very bearish market structure on the weekly time frame. It seems like actually it's from here. Yeah, because last week we broke below this structure point. So yeah, we're bearish from here. Daily time frame broke underneath, retested. I wasn't ever interested in trading this just because I didn't like the way we pulled back. But I did say that we were basically doing the same thing as right here. Instead of creating a double top, we kind of created a triple top. You can even see how the candles are almost identical. Nice long wicks, retesting EMA and selling right there. I don't know how to trade this now. We're kind of at the lowest point the market has ever been. We don't have an area of interest. We never even pulled back into the area of interest fully. We just kind of created market structure underneath the area of interest, retesting some of these wicks right here. So right now, I'm not too interested in this pair, GBP CHF. I would wait for, I don't know, if price is probably not going to come back into this area, or maybe it will. I mean, we can see how many times it returned into this area when we were above. So we can maybe expect the same thing now that we're below. If price comes back into this area, then I would 100% look for sells. But as of right now, not too interested in that. Euro USD weekly time frame, bullish daily time frame, bearish, pullback, retested EMA and sold. 4-hour time frame is now bullish. So we shifted bullish. We are still underneath the EMA. So I don't know if I would take the buys just quite yet. I would probably wait for price to break above this EMA and the area of interest, like I had mentioned before. And then that would be the better place to take the buys. Otherwise, you're trading underneath the area of interest. You're trading underneath the EMA on the daily. You're trading underneath the EMA on the 4-hour. So taking buys right now is a little bit riskier than waiting for it to break above, and then you'll get really, really nice market structure up there to take your buys. If you're looking for sells, I guess I have it marked up as red because we were looking for sells initially. If you're looking for sells, then you have to probably wait for the 4-hour time frame to go bearish again. Maybe wait for a break and retest of these structures and then get the continuation. Or if you're lucky, price creates a double top right here, shifts, pulls back into the neckline of what it just created, and then continues to sell from there. Not a huge fan of that. So we will continue to wait for the buys if those manage to happen. USD JPY, similar to AUD JPY, similar to GBP JPY and CAD JPY. So right now, we're just getting that continuation to the upside. We missed our entry once price broke above this EMA, but also we were waiting for a proper 4-hour market structure shift to take the buys here. So not interested. Euro CHF. Euro CHF weekly time frame. Oops. Weekly time frame is very bearish. I was waiting for price to shift or to pull back into the previous structure and into the daily area of interest. 4-hour time frame is currently bullish, so we are still on our way back. We could still potentially make it there and then take a continuation trade to the downside. As of right now, I'm not too interested in taking Euro CHF sells. GBP CAD. GBP CAD is doing the same thing it's done before. It's finally broken out of this little channel, retested, and then sold, right? So we're stuck inside of this channel. Right now, all we're probably looking at is a sell into this area of interest before we then break back inside of this channel. So right now, not interested. We would be trading against the weekly time frame. We would be trading against the daily time frame. Well, actually, the daily time frame did actually shift bearish here. Once we broke below this little structure point here, we shifted bearish. Yes, excuse me. We shifted bearish yesterday, pulled back, and then sold. So you may have been able to catch a trade here, but I'm not a huge fan of taking these types of trades against the trend. USD CAD weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bullish. We're still waiting on all sorts of confirmation for buys. For right now, price is probably just going to sell back into this area, as we had mentioned before. So right now, we're not interested. Euro GBP. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bearish. And 4-hour time frame is bullish. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like, yeah, because it did the same thing here. GBP is selling, GBP is selling, whereas here GBP is buying. So yeah, GBP is getting a little bit weaker. Excuse me. Gotta stay hydrated. My voice is giving out on me. Yeah, so GBP is, I think, getting weaker in my opinion. It seems like they had a little bit of, well, first of all, Euro and GBP move very similarly. So this is like trading USD CAD, except for USD CAD moves way, way, way cleaner than this for the most part. But yeah, GBP CAD or Euro GBP is currently moving up. I would wait for price to break above this area of interest, and I'd wait for it to retest it before we take any buys. With the major time frames to take a continuation to the upside. Not interested right now. AUD CAD weekly time frame is bullish, daily time frame is bearish. AUD CAD looks like AUD USD. Very, very similar. We are above the EMA here. Daily time frame is bearish. 4-hour time frame is currently bearish as well. Right now, we are retesting the 4-hour EMA, and we might see sellers take the market all the way down to this area of interest. There's a lot more price action that needs to happen before we can take any trades. So I'm not too interested. Plus, we already took AUD USD and took a loss there. Okay, NZD CAD. NZD CAD, I mentioned a break and retest of this area in order to sell into the area of interest. Unfortunately, we didn't get the break and retest the way I wanted, but it does seem like now we are getting the break and retest that price wants. So we are creating a head and shoulders, first of all. Shoulder, head, shoulder, break, retest the neckline, retest the area of interest, retest of the EMA. And now we might potentially get those sellers to come in and push price lower. You'll notice how it looks the same here, except for it's not a head and shoulders, it's a triple top. And we are retesting what looks the same as that we're retesting the EMA. Here, retesting the EMA, NZD USD, kind of above the EMA, but also retesting the EMA nevertheless. So for those two, I would just expect sellers to come in and push the market, at least for this one, down to here. And for this one, I don't know, at the very minimum into these structures, but who wants to trade those types of moves? Not me. Euro GBP. Euro GBP moving very nicely. We broke, retested of the EMA, retested of the area of interest. Now we're buying. Very similar to the other JPY pairs. CHF JPY, I mean, it's just moving. NZD JPY, same thing. Also having a continuation above the daily EMA now. So we broke above the daily, we broke above the 4-hour, and price is now pumping. Not interested in any of those because we are basically on our way to the next structure point, and it would not make sense to take those types of trades. GBP AUD. So we've been trading underneath this like trend line type of pattern or whatever you want to call it. It is also, now that I look at it, a channel. Just to visualize what price has been doing. The 4-hour time frame has created a head and shoulders, retest the neckline, sold underneath the EMA, retested of the EMA, retested the area of interest, and sold. So, I mean, what could we expect it to do is probably retest the next structure point and then continue to sell. Maybe fill in some of this empty space that it created from a news event, I believe, that happened. I would prefer to see the weekly time frame reject this EMA and then break out of this little channel and just continue to buy. So that's what I'll be waiting for, probably next week. This week, I'm assuming we're going to close down here. Next week, we might get a doji, and then the week after, we might actually push. So not interested at the moment. Same thing here, very, very similar. Actually, this one looks a little bit cleaner. You can see a head and shoulders pattern. So that is a reversal pattern. We had a weekly doji. That was another indicator that we might be selling. Daily time frame rejected. Daily time frame pulled back into the area of interest. 4-hour time frame created the same head and shoulders pattern, broke underneath, retested, broke underneath the EMA, retested the area of interest, and sold. Now, what can we expect price to do? Probably do the same thing, except for now on this pair, it looks like it could be selling a lot more long term. It looks like if we do end up selling here, we'll probably retest this area and then sell all the way into the EMA because this is actually a nice reversal pattern. So I'm guessing that we might be seeing sellers a little bit more long term on these two pairs. So that's what I'm going to mark them up as. Looking for sells, even though we have two time frames that are bullish. Yeah, I'm not actually that interested in that. For sells, I would rather take buys. Like if I'm going to take sells, I'm going to take sells with the daily time frame that's bearish, and the daily time frame is not going bearish anytime soon. Okay. GBP NZD. GBP NZD weekly time frames bullish, daily time frame is bullish, and 4-hour time frame is bearish. So we broke underneath the EMA, retested EMA area of interest, and sold right now. Not interested in taking these sells. We only have the 4-hour time frame in sync. I would just wait for price to create a double bottom, break above the double bottom, retest, and then buy. That would make the most sense for me. And then the EMA would do something like this, sweep, and then continue on up. Similar to this. We were underneath, double bottom, broke above, retested, bought. It's that simple. It takes patience though. CAD CHF. CAD CHF is finally, oh my gosh, wow, finally. Okay, so CAD CHF instantly going to the top of my list. We finally returned to this previous daily structure. We've retested the daily structure and we've rejected the daily structure. All I'm waiting for is price to sell underneath the EMA, retest, and then sell even further. I'm assuming, yeah, so we've already broken underneath 30-minute EMA. At this point, all we're waiting for is a proper sell, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, and then continuation after the EMA does something like this. And then on the 4 hour time frame, it would basically, yeah, it would basically look like that. Sorry, I'm not much of an artist. But it is nice to see a nice daily rejection candle on CAD CHF. Exactly what we want to see from these types of moves. All we're waiting for tomorrow is a pullback wick like that, and then a continuation to the downside. I mean, it's almost doing the exact same thing as this. So here are our options. We can sell this candle, right? So this is our doji, this is our doji. Then we have a selling candle, then we have a pullback candle, and then we sell even further. So we could wait for the pullback to happen. That'll probably happen on the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, 4 hour pullback, and then continuation to the downside. That's basically what we're waiting for, is that to happen. So yeah, CAD CHF, super interested. NZD CHF, gonna be the same thing, waiting for that break and retest underneath the EMA in order to sell. So we have 1, 2, 3 CAD pairs that were, or CHF pairs that we're interested in already. I would actually, I don't know, NZD CHF, USD, AUD CHF. This one has a better area of interest. This one doesn't have an area of interest, but this one does sell very nicely. We were able to catch some good moves. AUD CHF is kind of sloppy. Yeah, so I'm going to switch out NZD CHF with AUD CHF. They're both very nice. I've already analyzed both of them for you guys. But I like the market structure it's creating here, retesting previous structure. 4 hour time frame is creating a double top. All we're going to wait for is a break and retest of the EMA, retest of the double top, retest of the 4 hour area of interest. Your first profit target would be this. Your last profit target would be this. And then obviously, if you want to continue to hold, you continue to hold, and price will likely just continue to push to the downside. Now let's go ahead and go through these pairs and order them. Waiting for a break and retest, 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 break and retest, and this is at the top because here we've already had the retest. Now we're just waiting for the continuation. Our Euro CAD trade is moving. AUD USD, same thing, break and retest if you're interested in that. And then CAD JPY, waiting for that pullback to continue to the upside. Did I go over NZD USD? Yeah, NZD USD. I'm basically, price is at the area we want it to be at. I'm basically just waiting for price to break underneath the EMA once again, to break underneath the, let's see which, it's honestly not even that easy to tell what price is going to do. Let's see. I would wait for price to break underneath this structure point and then come back to retest the area of interest and then sell. That's what I would kind of look for. You're not going to be able to wait for the 4 hour time frame to go bearish because that would be all the way down here. If you want to, you can, but this is a little bit of a more aggressive entry, and I think that it could work out. Once we break underneath, we retest the EMA. EMA starts to shift to the downside like this, and then all we do is retest, sell, and continue to move with the overall trend. AUD USD, same thing, just a little bit cleaner on the lower time frames. And on the 4 hour time frame too, we're underneath the 4 hour time frame. So I would wait for price to properly break underneath and then retest and then sell. Anyone in the GBP USD to continue to hold? GBP USD? I believe so. I don't see any reason for GBP USD to not continue to sell, if that makes sense. Um, at least into this. First of all, I mean, where's your take profit? Let me see. What did you say? You entered a couple days ago at 13379, 13379. So you got a decent entry. Like, wait, you entered at the same place that I did. But yeah, no, price came back to entry, sold. Yeah, I didn't send a signal for that, so we're not going to keep that on there. Anyways, I would continue to hold. Realistically, if you want to trail your stop loss, I would just trail it above this structure point right here, like right above those wicks. Um, I think the most price would pull back would be into this previous structure before they continue to sell. If it does break above this here, then you've created a double bottom. You'll probably do a quick something like this and then just continue to buy. But like we had mentioned before, it seems like GBP is getting a little bit weaker. And if GBP is getting weaker, then price will continue to pump downwards. And on Euro GBP, it will continue to pump upwards. So I don't think that there's any reason for you to get out early unless you feel like you're just straight up getting greedy, which isn't great. Recommended take profit. I mean, you sold from a daily area of interest. I wouldn't hold it past like final take profit would be like this structure point on the weekly time frame. Um, you're already nearing this daily structure point for another option. And then, yeah, I would realistically stick to that weekly structure for my final take profit, like right here. So that would be around 1328, 1328. And then that would be price pushing into the area of interest before then potentially having a continuation to the upside. Now, the reason I'm not saying just hold all the way down to here is because we have the area of interest, we have the EMA, and a few other things that could push price back up. So we'll see what happens there. No problem. No problem. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this recording and do another one for the Skool community. Okay. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.